Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. Let's turn to some other topics of the day. First up, the tensions involving protesters and police departments around the country are prompting more officers to retire, including here in Lexington. The president of the local Fraternal Order of Police says the constant scrutiny about policing in general is taking a toll. He says more Lexington officers are now putting in for service retirement compared to the same months in the past 3 years. And he predicts those numbers could triple or quadruple by summer's end.
Normally, our personnel don't normally retire in June or July, so the fact that we've already got 6 and we haven't even hit July yet certainly doesn't bode well for the future. I know our membership is worried. About half of the people who've already declared an intention to retire on years of service are supervisors.
Meanwhile, in Louisville, some police officers say their lives were needlessly put at risk after being ordered to take off their riot gear during a protest Sunday night. The Kentucky State FOP claims the orders came after men with long rifles were seen on top of a nearby building and that the officers were told to put down the gear or face immediate suspension. The order came just one day after a deadly protest shooting at Jefferson Square Park. And Keith, back to the retirement thing, I believe a lot of officers know there needs to be change, but I can't blame them for wanting to step down if they have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I mean, first off, just aside from everything that's going on, all of our jobs have changed in a short amount of time, and they've gotten tougher. And so there's one thing there, but now you're talking about all the hours they're putting in, all the verbal abuse that they're taking out there on the streets, and just, you know, yeah, I think it's a real tough thing, and I can't blame them either for looking at an early retirement.
Nope. Now a look at the latest COVID-19 headlines in Kentucky. A 30-year-old woman from Lexington appears to be the state's youngest coronavirus death. And when sorted by decades of age, people in their 20s now account for more cases in Kentucky than any other age group. Meanwhile, in Greenup County, a student athlete in the Russell Independent School System has tested positive for COVID-19. As a result, 2 athletic programs have been directed to cease practice for the next 14 days. Clay County has also paused activities on recommendation from the health department, although there's no word of any cases in that system yet. And Keith, you've got to think coaches of every fall sport, winter sport out there are nervous about this.
Yeah, I mean, look at what the Lexington Fayette public schools did. They waited 2 weeks longer than they even could have to start workouts. I think coaches, they have to be nervous right now because they're worried about, all their kids coming to practice. They're making sure that they've got everything ready and safe for their kids. But, we talked about it. If you have one little hiccup and somebody comes in with coronavirus and tests positive, all of a sudden the entire team has to sit out for 2 weeks and you're that far behind.
Yep, totally shut down. All right, contact tracing is one method our local health departments are using to contain COVID-19, and state officials are walking us through the process now. They say it starts with a disease investigator who will call someone who has tested positive. Then a contact tracer would call those people who have been exposed. You can expect tracers to ask basic information like your name, address, and birthday, but they will not ask for a social security number, a bank account number, or any other financial information.
The contact tracer would talk to the person about what kind of symptoms would present with COVID, what to look for in terms of their own health, and then would also talk to them about their need to quarantine to protect their friends and family from the spread of the disease.
Officials say if a caller asks you for financial information, you should hang up and contact the Attorney General's fraud hotline. Federal funding has boosted the number of contact tracers in Kentucky by more than a third and could allot up to 1,100 of them if needed. Keith, one thing I never thought about being was a disease investigator.
No, not at all. And it's pretty amazing the job that they're doing and what they may have to do, because with the sounds of things of, this not at all being over, they could have a long road ahead for them.
Exactly. All right, let's talk some sports. True Blue fans got to learn more about the life of former UK basketball coach Eddie Sutton last night. ESPN premiered its tell-all documentary on the Hall of Famer. Eddie pulled back the curtain to reveal Sutton's complicated life and career, including his 4 troubled seasons at Kentucky. It also showed his crowning achievements in basketball at Arkansas, Oklahoma State, and beyond, as well as his handling of the 2001 plane crash that took the lives of 10 members of his OSU program.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong that last year at Kentucky.
All season long, the University of Kentucky basketball program has been an ongoing story.
This is like a coat you wear. It's 100 degrees, you got the coat on.
The documentary didn't hide the worst of Coach Sutton's battles with alcohol, including an interview with Rex Chapman, in which the former UK star says Sutton was drunk for most of his freshman year, but he says the coach sobered up by the next season. And of course, the film touched on the basketball scandal that ended Sutton's career in Lexington. Keith, I've got it on my DVR. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but it really is a remarkable story of redemption.
Yeah, totally, all the way around. I mean, his career could have been over after being here, and the things that he went through. Coach Calipari talks about it all the time. This job is not for everyone, and I think he did his best at it, and I thought he did a pretty good job. He just had some demons that he had to battle while he was here, and then, like you said, went on and had a great career, and now Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. All right, still ahead on Hey Kentucky. The discussion continues. We'll cover several more topics, including an encouraging tweet from UK quarterback. Touchdown, Terry Wilson. Don't go away.